Page 17, Folk Dance. Now, here they're introducing a chord, what's known as a chord. And like a lot of things in music, people don't agree on what the definition of a chord is. I go with the definition in this book, but not all books do this. Some books say a chord is 3 or more notes. Other books, like this one, say it's 2 or more notes. To me, a chord is any time you can hear multiple notes at the same time. When you can hear harmony, that's a chord. And you only need 2 notes for that. Huh? The point is, in this lesson, for the first time, now we're going to play 2 notes at the same time in the same hand. It's not like playing 1 note at a time. The technique's a little different, so we'll talk about it. So I'm going to go through my routine for learning a piece of music, and I'll point some things out as we go through this. I look it over, I see it's about 1 page long, or 4 lines more or less. Treble and bass clef, 1 sharp in the key signature. We're in the key of G major. 3/4 time, so there's only 3 counts in a measure, and we have a pickup beat. The 2/8 notes, that would be on beat 3. That means the first 2 beats should be someplace else. Well, if you look at the bottom, the last measure, that's a half note. That's beats 1 and 2. And then beat 3 is up above. Starting with the right hand, let's check the rhythm and the notes and all. We're here. We're not moving around. Therefore, you don't need any of these other finger numbers. Just the first one to tell you where to go. And that's it. Please don't be reading finger numbers. It's 3 and 1. 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and, like so. So I go through and get the right hand okay. Then I do the same with the left. And the left hand is here. And again, I don't need any other finger numbers here. I just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Oh, this is fun. Okay. We'll go down to the 3rd line. They're all quarter notes. 1, 2. It's a little more entertaining, but it's still okay. Now, last measure down here. We got 2 notes here in the left hand at the same time. And you can play them at the same time. You know you need to play them at the same time because they both come on the same beat. Technically, that's the reason. Usually what I tell people is if they're connected, they're sharing a stem and they're connected, just play them at the same time. But the real reason is they come on the same beat, beat 1. You have to figure the notes out. So we do a technique called spell out the chord. And that is where you take the bottom note in the chord and you figure it out. And then you do the next note, and the next, and the next, and the next. Now, a chord can have a lot of notes in it. It doesn't matter. Just take it 1 note at a time. Here, the bottom note is a G, and the next note up is a B. 2 notes. So we have those 2 notes. Now, in this position, we're going to do that. Now, when you play 2 or more notes at the same time, I'm putting my fingers down for the notes, whatever they are, and I lower the hand. And I'm using the gravity, the weight of the hand, to push the notes down. I'm putting the gravity on those fingers. Don't hold the hand still and try and use the fingers. You're moving the whole hand down. Here. Let the wrist collapse a little bit. Don't stiffen up and play with a tense wrist. It's just can't see it very well, but I'm relaxing just a little bit. Listen carefully to it and try and get the notes down at the same time. I don't always do that. I try. I've heard professionals not do it too. It's hard to do. It just takes a lot of time. A lot of time. You should do it in both hands. Because I can do that in both hands. Just lower them, both hands. Now I try and put the hands together. We're here. 3 and here. And then here. Third line down, here. Get the idea? Okay. Last 2 measures at the bottom, here. And here. So I'm here. I'm trying transferring weight from that finger over to those fingers. I'm just transferring weight over here to here. And that's kind of hard to do because when you transfer weight to multiple fingers like that, you usually won't get them down at the same time. You know, they don't want to go down at the same time. Well, if that happens, I should say when it happens, take the finger that's late, whichever finger it is, and focus on that. Get that down. So if I'm going here and I'm late with this finger, then I'm going to focus on this finger. Just let the other finger go along. Or if I'm late with this finger, here, this finger's late, then I'm going to focus on this finger. And I'm going to let the other finger go along. Until I can get them down at the same time. It's just rocking back and forth is all it is. Takes practice. Be patient, it'll come. Now once I have the hands working okay and the rhythms are okay, then I get rid of the hesitation. So it's a steady beat. And then I can think about the expression or the slurring. Lift up. Lift up. Lift up. Well, you have to lift up for the rest. In the third line it's a lift up. Lift up. Just lift up between each of these. In the left hand, connect it. Of course, that's a half note. I have to hold it down. But like in the third line here, I'm lifting up in the right hand. I'm keeping the left hand down. So I'm lifting up in the right hand. I'm keeping the left hand down. That's hard to do for a while, and I'm asking you to just keep at it. Keep working at it. It comes if you'll keep working at it. Now once I have the expression out of the way, the articulation, now think about the dynamics. P at the beginning is piano for soft. You'll have to decide what soft is. It's the melody. This left hand is background. Very light, very soft, very light. Very light. Then the third line, MF, is mezzo forte. That's moderately loud. You'll decide what moderate, not loud, just sort of loud. That's the melody, it's the right hand. Left hand's still in the background. It can come up a little bit, but it's still in the background. Last line is soft like you were at the beginning. It's like an echo of that. And that last measure, I want to hear that note. These are very soft. Now, moderato's somewhere in the middle, just it's a happy song, so in my mind it might be a little quicker than moderato. Think of people dancing and having fun with this. To me that's 1, 2, 3, that's not moderato, but we'll pretend it is. Yeah, I think moderato is a little slow. Again, that's like interpreting the music. How fast you go is your interpretation, and their guide they're giving you may not always be accurate. This piece, I'm sure, did not have a speed to it. The editor or whoever has just put that in. So in my mind, we can adjust that. Make it a little faster than that. Now, we need to talk about what I call the road map. The road map is kind of an indication of when do you go where. So far in the pieces, we just started at the top and we just go down to the bottom. We're done. Well, starting with this piece, not so much. So we got more symbols to learn and things. And I disagree with the way they printed it, but we'll talk about this in a minute. At the bottom of the last measure, you see the da capo al fine. They've spelled it out for you. It's Italian, da capo al fine. Usually it's just DC al fine. Short for da capo. I usually just say DC because it's easier for me to say. DC, or da capo, means go back to the beginning. Don't ask questions, don't pass go, don't collect $200, just go to the beginning. Al fine means go to fine. So what this means is when you get to the bottom, you're automatically going to jump back to the top and keep going. And fine is at the end of the second line here. You see the word fine? It's not fine, it's Italian. It's fine. It means the end. And you play the first two lines again. So you'd go through, you play all four lines, and then you go back up and you play the first two lines again. And that's what the roadmap is here. The thing I don't agree on is there are double bars they're using. Now the double bars at the bottom are fine. The double bars means a section split, or a section. You're ending one section and going into another. And that's okay, because we haven't talked about sections in music and form and all that, but yes, we're leaving one section of music and going in. See, the first two measures is a section. It's like chapters in a book. You can have sections in a piece. Well, it's based like on the melody. You have this melody at the beginning, and the first two lines are sort of like that, and then in the third line, it's a different melody. It's a different section. So the last two lines is a section. So you have the double bars at the bottom for this section. That's fine. The problem is the fine at the end of the second line. That should be a thin and thick bar line there, because the thin and thick bar line, remember, is the symbol for end of the piece. If you look on page 16 at the bottom of that clear balloon thing, it's a thin and thick bar line. Well, that's what it should be at the end of the second line on page 17. See, the end of a piece isn't always at the bottom. It could be anywhere. I told you that earlier, I'm sure. And here it is. It should be. So take a pencil and widen out the second bar line and make it a thick one. So it's the end of a piece symbol. Please don't copy me. That's just one way of doing it. You get into it and you feel it. And by the way, the natural accents, the first beat of a measure, remember, is the strongest, and 3/4 time it's the only one. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Go to here. It should feel that. Go to here. Go to here. 1, 2, 3, 1. You want to feel this. I'm exaggerating it so you can hear it better, but really you just want to feel the natural accents. Let's play it together very slowly and check all the notes and rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics, the louds and softs. No, I'm going to play it all about the same. We're just checking notes and rhythms. But I am going to do the DC thing, the da capo thing. So it's going to be 6 lines long. So I'll give us 2 counts because we come in on beat 3. Ready and go and. Like that kind of thing. Ready and go and. Rest.